Okay, so get ready because we're going to talk about something kind of surprising today.
Yeah, it's not something people always connect, but
It really is fascinating, though. I mean, you probably associate this with, well, let's just say bathroom stuff.
uh-huh.
But it turns out it has a huge impact on your brain.
Yeah, we're talking about fiber
Yeah,
and its connection to how your brain works, like thinking and even mental health.
right now I know what you're thinking. Fiber.
Exactly.
Isn't that just for, keeping things moving?
Yeah, but it's so much more than just, a digestive thing. It's like the secret weapon for your brain.
So tell me more. How does that work?
Well, it all starts in your gut with the gut microbiome.
Ah, the microbiome. We hear about that a lot these days. So remind us what that is again.
Right. So your gut is home to trillions of bacteria.
Trillions. Wow.
Trillions.
Right.
And they're all, working together and talking to your brain
They're talking to our brains.
through the vagus nerve.
So what's happening in our gut affects our brain. Wild.
Yeah, and it's a two-way street. They're constantly communicating.
So it's like a direct line from our gut to our brain.
Exactly. And
Ye-
what we feed those bacteria, well, that changes the messages they send.
And that's where fiber comes in.
Right. Fiber is like food for these good bacteria.
Yeah.
And when they eat fiber, they produce these things called short-chain fatty acids, or SCFAs for short.
SCFAs.
Yeah, and they travel from the gut to the brain, like little messengers.
Wow. So the fiber we eat turns into SCFAs, which then go to our brains. What do they do there?
Well, one of the biggest things is they work on inflammation, that chronic inflammation. It's a problem for your brain.
Yeah.
Anxiety, depression, even Alzheimer's.
Oh, wow. So you're saying those SCFAs, they can reduce inflammation in the brain.
Exactly. Like butyrate. It's one type of SCFA. It's a powerful anti-inflammatory. Research even shows it protects against damage from that inflammation.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Just from eating more fiber.
There was even the study in the journal Nutrition found people who ate the most fiber had a way lower risk of Alzheimer's.
28% lower, you said.
Yeah, 28%, compared to those who eat the least.
So eating more fiber now, it could protect our brains later on.
That's what the research suggests, yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And it's not just about preventing problems down the road, right?
No, not at all. It can help with your mood and how you feel right now, too.
You mean because of that gut-brain connection?
You got it. So that vagus nerve we talked about,
Right, the communication highway.
it also carries information about those neurotransmitters, things like serotonin.
Oh yeah, serotonin, the happy hormone.
Exactly. And your gut, believe it or not, it produces a lot of it.
Our gut makes serotonin.
Yeah, that's why some people call it the second brain. It can make and control these mood chemicals.
So a healthy gut, thanks to fiber, can actually make us feel happier.
That's the idea. When we feed our gut bacteria with fiber, they support the production of those mood-boosting neurotransmitters.
Wow, that's fascinating.
There's even research showing that more fiber can help with anxiety and depression symptoms by making your gut healthier and boosting that serotonin.
This is really changing how I think about fiber.
Yeah.
I never realized it was so important for our mental well-being.
It's not just about physical health, it's all connected.
But wait, I remember reading that fiber also impacts how well our brains work, right? Like our thinking and memory.
Right. There's more and more research showing a link between fiber and better brain function, like your memory, learning new things, even just feeling mentally sharper.
Okay, I'm hooked. Tell me more about how fiber makes us, well, smarter.
Remember those SCFAs?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they play a big role in keeping the blood-brain barrier strong.
Oh, right, the blood-brain barrier. Now, what was that again?
So it's this shield around your brain.
Like a filter.
Yeah, it keeps bad stuff out but lets the good stuff in, like nutrients. Think of it like a bouncer at a club.
Got it. So how do SCFAs help this bouncer do its job?
They make it stronger, like make sure it's working at its best, which means better protection from toxins and a smoother flow of nutrients to the brain.
So a strong blood-brain barrier, because of fiber, can help us think better.
Exactly. It can help with mental clarity, focus, just overall better brain power.
Amazing. So we've got a happier brain, a sharper brain. What else?
Oh, there's another big one we haven't talked about yet, blood sugar.
Right, blood sugar. Important for energy, but what does it have to do with our brains?
Well, if your blood sugar's all over the place, it can really mess with your mood, your energy, even how well you think.
Oh yeah, like those sugar crashes.
Exactly. Irritable, foggy brain, wiped out, all that.
Yeah, I've been there.
Well, fiber helps keep your blood sugar stable. It slows down how fast sugar gets absorbed into your blood.
Ah, I see. So instead of those huge spikes and crashes, it's more even. better for our brains.
Exactly. Stable blood sugar means more focus, more energy, a sharper mind all day long.
Fiber is seriously impressive. Who knew something so simple could have such a big impact?
It really shows you how connected everything is in our bodies and the power of nutrition.
I'm really glad we had this conversation. It's completely changed how I think about fiber.
It's not just another thing on the nutrition label. It's crucial for our minds and bodies.
And it makes you realize that what we eat isn't just fuel for our bodies, it's fuel for our brains too.
Couldn't agree more. We talk about balanced diets for physical health, but mental well-being is just as important.
Yeah, it's amazing to think that just by making smarter food choices, we can really make a difference in our brain health. And fiber is a big part of that.
It really is. When we were talking about those SCFAs traveling from the gut to the brain, it made me wonder, how does that actually happen? They're so tiny. How do they make that journey?
Right, it's a good question. Shows you how complex our bodies are. So after those bacteria in our gut eat the fiber and make those SCFAs, those little molecules, they get absorbed right into the bloodstream.
Ah, so they're in our blood. Yep. And from there, they can travel all over, including, you guessed it, across that blood-brain barrier and into the brain.
Like tiny little travelers hitching a ride, delivering brain power along the way.
That's a great way to put it. And what's cool is that different SCFAs, they do different things in the brain, like butyrate, the one we talked about. Not only does it fight inflammation, but also seems to help with something called neuroplasticity.
Neuro what now?
Neuroplasticity. It's basically your brain's ability to change and adapt, throughout your life.
Ah, so it's like how we learn new things, form memories, all that.
Exactly. And research suggests that butyrate might actually boost that process, making our brains more flexible and, resilient.
So not just protecting our brains, but helping them stay young and adaptable.
Exactly. And then there's another SCFA called propionate. And get this, it's been shown to have effects on appetite and even how we interact with other people.
Wait, you're telling me those bacteria in our gut are impacting our social lives?
It seems so. Now, the research is still pretty new, but some studies have found that this propionate can affect those neurotransmitters involved in social behavior. So potentially our mood, motivation, even how we connect with others.
Wow, our gut bacteria, the social butterflies we never knew we had. But okay, back to something a little more serious. You mentioned earlier that chronic inflammation, it can lead to Alzheimer's, right?
Yeah, that's right. So as we get older, our brains change naturally, and we're more likely to experience some cognitive decline. And it seems that chronic inflammation speeds that process up, damaging brain cells and making it harder to think clearly.
So it's like a slow burn in the brain.
That's a good way to think about it. And the thing is, it can go on for years without you even noticing, all the while contributing to those neurodegenerative diseases.
Kind of scary.
Yeah.
But fiber, by reducing inflammation, can help protect us from that, right?
Exactly. By keeping inflammation down, fiber might slow down the aging process in the brain and lower the risk of those diseases, like Alzheimer's.
That's good news. So it's like a shield for our brains. But what about people who maybe they're already experiencing some cognitive decline? Is it too late for them to benefit from fiber?
Well, it's never too late to focus on your brain health. And while there's still more research needed, some studies suggest that even if you start later in life, upping your fiber intake can still have positive effects.
That's reassuring. So it's like a message of hope. No matter your age, you can take steps to support your brain health. And something as simple as eating more fiber can be part of that.
That's right. It's accessible, it's backed by science, and it's a way to nourish your brain throughout your life.
This is really fascinating. I love how we keep coming back to this idea that food isn't just fuel for the body, but for the mind, too.
Absolutely. We always emphasize a balanced diet for physical health, but now we're really understanding how critical it is for mental well-being, too.
Yeah, it's like this whole new world has opened up. Who knew fiber was the key to unlocking brain power?
It really shows you how powerful simple changes can be. It's not about some crazy diet or anything. It's about those small, everyday choices and how they can make a big difference.
It's funny, right? For years, fiber's been kind of ignored. We're all about protein, healthy fats, vitamins, but fiber, it's like the forgotten nutrient.
Yeah, it's always been stuck in that digestion box, but now we see it goes way beyond that. The gut-brain connection, inflammation, even how we feel and act, it's all connected to fiber.
It's like fiber's finally getting the spotlight it deserves.
It is,
Yeah.
and we're still just scratching the surface. There's so much more to learn about how it impacts our brains.
It makes you wonder, what other secrets are we going to uncover about this, well, pretty basic nutrient.
Right. It just goes to show you sometimes the answers are right there in nature. We just have to be open to seeing them.
Well, I can honestly say this conversation has changed how I think about fiber forever. I'm never going to look at my oatmeal the same way again.
That's great to hear. It's not just about checking a box on your nutrition list. It's about taking care of your brain.
So if there's one thing you want our listeners to remember from all this, what would it be?
I'd say adding more fiber to your diet is a really simple, easy way to give your brain what it needs. And it's backed by science. It's never too early or too late to start thinking about your brain health.
I love that. Small changes, big results, especially when it comes to something as basic as fiber. So to everyone listening, take that step. Embrace the power of fiber and see what it can do for you.
It's been great talking about this with you.
Likewise.
And to everyone out there, keep learning, stay curious, and keep feeding your amazing brains.